Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Ifeni, the great Malabite. Good morning.
Good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victoria. Tundu, MK Abiola.
Good morning, Mr. Ifeni.
Yes. That's, is that army green or what do you call it again?
Yes, it's, well, Jamal calls it army green. I call it olive green, but it's the same color.
Olive green.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just move on. Let's move on with the review. Let's start today's review with this day. Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story. In Riyadh, Buhari calls on world leaders to invest in policies that guarantee global security. Says, under investment, genesis of rising socio-economic challenges, restates commitment to people-oriented policies. Six debt relief for struggling economies. Yes, the president yesterday was making a speech for people to invest in Nigeria, but making a general statement as it were. But I'm sure his call for debt relief for struggling economies. Does struggling economies really include Nigeria? Because the rate at which the president is borrowing, the present administration, I don't know whether any institution, the Brethren Woods institution, will take its call for debt relief as it relates to Nigeria very seriously. But he has made a call for debt relief. But that forum provides another opportunity to sell Nigeria to investors. Now, if you look at the story just below the masthead, again, Chief Justice of Nigeria laments reckless court orders, appeals to judges, lawyers, not to destroy judiciary. The lamentation of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Mohammed, he has to go beyond lamentation. Because the other day, he invited judges from 6 states, chief judges from 6 states. And I think they discussed the issue, the issue of this ex parte motion being obtained from everywhere across the country. But what happened thereafter, I have not heard anything on that. Nobody was sanctioned, to the best of my knowledge. I stand to be corrected after that meeting. So this Chief Justice and the National Judicial Council must go beyond this periodic lamentation. And of course, we heard Monday Ubani there, on the need for the NBA to also impose sanctions. Now, if we look at other newspapers, yes, the Guardian newspaper, I start with the second lead there, which is another statement from the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. Save schools. Over 12 million children traumatized, afraid to go to school, says Buhari. Yes, 1,436 pupils, 17 teachers abducted from schools between December 2020 and October 2021. 300 children calls on world leaders to protect schools from attacks. Buhari pledges to end attacks on education. Issues of child rights, curriculum review, staff development, top agenda at the conference. Yes, this statement was made yesterday at the conference held in Abuja, where the president was represented by his chief of staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, and also at that conference, the Children's Manifesto was launched, authored by 300 children across 10 countries. The manifesto was launched as world leaders met for the 4th International Conference on Safe Schools. And what are the children asking for? They're asking world leaders to deny armies access to schools and ensure paths to schools are free of explosives. They're not asking for too much. It's the minimum they're asking for, that children should be safe going to schools. Now, the Daily Independent newspaper, lead story, plot to halt PDP National Convention, Tikins party may exit Ekiti, another state over conflicting delegates. says it does not expect court ruling to put convention at risk. Yes, I think we dwelt on this issue. Courts must not be used to derail any democratic process. Now we move over to the Daily Sun. Yes, 2023, PDP wins zone presidency. Saraki hints of defection of APC bigwigs to opposition party. Appeal court rules on Secondus case tomorrow. Yes, former Senate President Bukola Saraki saying PDP wants zone presidency. But I don't think that is official yet from the party. This is Bukola Saraki's expectation because he wants to also contest for the PDP ticket. Whether he will get that ticket or not remains to be seen as we move along the way to 2023 presidential election. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, opposition to declaring bandits terrorists. ACF, MBF, Ohaneze, Afenifere, Christian Association of Nigeria, rain knocks on Gumi. Gumi's comments challenge federal government's authority, according to the Arewa Consultative Forum. Is a security threat, Ohaneze. His advocacy for bandits, uncalled for. Afenifere, bandits are terrorists. No more, no less. Middlebelt Forum, arrest Gumi now. Christian Association of Nigeria, urging the Nigerian authorities. Now, above the photograph, below the photograph, the Vanguard, Kanu, that's a Kanu, UN tackles Nigeria, Kenya over alleged torture. Now, if I just look at other newspapers quickly, it's been tough dealing with security challenges. That the New Telegraph newspaper. The New Telegraph newspaper has been tough dealing with security challenges. Buhari says 12 million children traumatized, afraid of school. Now, the Leadership newspaper, lead story, amid rising insecurity, IGP deploys 100 DIGs, AIGs, CPs for Anambra governorship poll. As northern governors want state police established urgently, say recent events suggest urgent permanent solutions. Lament federal government's refusal to grant end-user certificate for security gadgets. Vigilantes kill district head brother for conspiring with bandits in Niger. Now, the Punch newspaper, and I will read this with a straight face without looking sideways. The Punch newspaper. Federal government lists Desianis buildings, jewelry, brass for sale. Values Badi's mansion. Suspects wedding gowns. Invisible brass. 64 pairs of shoes for sale. 1,620 items, including cars, houses, phones, laptops, vessels listed. The detail is in the headline. And, of course, the riders there. I don't need to say much. And I won't look sideways. Am I looking sideways? Now, let me just go to the foreign newspapers quickly. The Times of UK, fast growth gives Sunak chance to splash cash. Yes, at last, today, Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, will unveil the budget. But the budget has been adorning the newspaper since the beginning of the week, aspects of the budget. But today, he will unveil that, and he's saying, given the growth they expected, 7%, then there should be cash to splash. It's expected to use up to 30 billion from proceeds of growth to invest in public service and reduce borrowing when he unveils that budget today. Now, the Wall Street Journal, Pfizer shots for young children is back. Yes, the FDA advisory panel has recommended that the agency authorize COVID-19 vaccine for ages 9 to 11. Ruben Rufai. And Tunu, I don't know where you want to start from. You want to start from the Punch, where they want to auction brass? According to that report.
I'm completely flummoxed by the idea
Invisible brass.
What on earth is that? What is it?
What does that mean?
Invisible brass. And at the same time, I want to segue into a conversation that caught the attention of the front page of the Vanguard.
Yes.
I remember I said 2-3 years ago.
And what was that story?
99.4% of bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira NDIC.
God bless you. I remember I said 2-3 years ago, the same NDIC reported 97% of Nigerian bank accounts hold less than 500,000 naira as account balance. Now it is 99.4% from 97%. So that's to show you the effect of the economy, of poverty has crept in. I've got a show on radio yesterday. I was asking a question. I said, how much does school fees take out of your income? People told me averagely that they earn 50,000 naira and they spend well over 100,000 naira on school fees. People are taking loans to pay school fees in Nigeria as we speak today. I rest my case.
Well, the president has said he will move so many people out of poverty. Is it 10 million a year?
Yes, 10 million a year, 10 years.
You know, people even have up to 500,000 in their bank accounts. Average Nigerian standards will be considered very rich.
Yes.
I guess many do not even have up to 100,000 in their bank accounts. So you see, this is the crisis or the epidemic, or if you like, the pandemic of empty pockets that Nigerians have to deal with on a daily basis. And we say that Nigeria is underbanked and that there should be financial inclusion. But it's only money that you have that you can go and keep in the banks. And then also as a result of the uncertainties within the economy, some people will even advise that it's not a good idea, you know, to go and put your money in the banks when you are dealing with existential crisis. So the problem, therefore, is poverty, you know, empty pockets, the crisis of purchasing power, you know, and the people. And, you know, when we're discussing COVID in the UK, the point that was being made at a point was spend. If you have this huge population of 200 million people and 99.4% of the people even talking about bank accounts don't have anything in there, then it's a reflection of what we're all going through. I was going to draw your attention to this front page story, Daily Trust, which I think should also be very disturbing. Bandits impose levies
put up the
on
Daily
Sokoto
Trust
communities, issue ultimatum for payment. But the more disturbing part of it is that the residents in the affected communities in Sokoto State, they are paying, they are raising funds. And that, again, speaks to a particular problem that we face, the fact that the people do not trust government. If a bandit or a terrorist, whichever label you find convenient, says we will come to your community and kidnap you people by so time, you will expect that, you know, if there is a very good security arrangement, that people will go to the authorities and say, protect us. But now people resort to self-help. This same money that we say they do not have, they look for it by any means possible to buy protection. The more that happens from one community to the other, the more we will have that alienation between the people and the government. And finally, the issue that you brought up about Rishi Sunak. Well, you'll be speaking, I think, after Prime Minister's question time by 12:30 p.m. today. Most of the details are out there in the public domain, but we look forward to, you know, any new details that he will offer and whether this will lead to a new wave of promise or optimism for the United Kingdom. But another story that I think is also important is the COP26 summit this weekend in Glasgow. The United Nations is already complaining that the world is endangered because, you know, companies and nations are not keeping to their commitments. And that the 1.5 degrees Celsius recommended by the international community of scientific experts may not be met. And that will take the risk of having up to about 2.7 degrees Celsius, which will create more problems for our world. The issue, therefore, is that over 100 countries have made pledges. Financial institutions, you know, have made pledges. But there is that yawning gap between the pledges, between intention, and what these nations and companies really do with regard to the climate.
Yeah, and Xi Jinping isn't going to turn up to Glasgow.
The Queen will not be there.
I'm so crushed.
She will not be there.
You know I love her.
She has to take a rest.
Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Yeah.
We'll see you again tomorrow.